by her. Think she got her own job and got her own car.
The title of the piece, I didn't have a title for it, so I'm just going to call it the freedom piece. Have anybody ever been in bondage? Felt like you were in something you just couldn't get out of? Anybody? Yeah. This piece is about being free, understanding that whom the Son sets free is free indeed. Silent, like the echo of nothingness. She felt everything except nothing less than the burn marks, from where the tears left invisible scars, years of masquerading at a bar with no faces, reaching for the stars in hopes to get high with no chasers, chasing folk fantasies that only seem real when watching reality TV. She wanted reality TV, temporary vacancy fillers. But she needed more than what he could give her, but he could only deliver from what he had drawn from. An account with an insufficient amount with no assets but mountain principles. He wasn't in debt to the system, but the system kept him system like a puppet. His strings exposed that victim. He became the poster child for the misfits of society. With little to no hope of sobriety, he had no hope but somehow saw himself being free. He just wanted to be free. So he tried to pay his way to freedom. Screaming thoughts through silent tears and painting the streets with red streaks and blue sirens. His artwork going unnoticed, crying for attention that was stolen from him because his family didn't have time for him. Like an hourglass, his life seemed to pass like sand, slipping through his hands, arguments in self-defense, trying to justify the lies that he had somehow come to believe, believing that these lies could give him liberty. But you see, justice was only created for the outlaw. Justice was only created for the outlaw, but he knew that only the truth would set him free. You see, the system could be manipulated, but not captivity. Countries fought for freedom. Dead soldiers with broken-hearted widows and scorned mothers with fatherless children raising single-parent homes. While he stood on these streets like a soldier defending territory claimed and marked by his enemy, he stood like a landmark monumenting sinking sand. She offered him castrated hands, taken from her so she would never understand what it felt like to be led or guided, so she sought independence. Not wanting to be dependent because nothing seemed dependable. But she knew that she needed him. She knew that she needed him, but the media told her that if he liked it, he should put a ring on it. All the while forgetting that he had already put his seal on it. He died for her, married the backside of her, and then promised to never leave or forsake her. But she had left him, thinking that what Prince Charming had to offer was better than what he could give. But they don't tell you that fairy tales only last between an hour and a half to 2 hours and 15. And the clock didn't strike at 12 for her, it struck at 17. When her glass slippers turned ruby red and the carriage turned into a bed instead. You see, Disney didn't prepare her for the after until Shrek, and even then, he couldn't tell her what came next. He couldn't give her the way to handle the struggles, the pain, or the regret. He couldn't tell her how to handle it. So she felt bound. She felt bound by her past mistakes. No hope in the future or in which path to take, haunted by the demons of her so-called escape, but still enslaved to her thoughts. But freedom. Freedom means the power or the right to act, to think, or to speak. And it also means the absence of subjection to foreign domination or despotic government, which is why he explains to us that we are in this world, but we are not of it. You see, the phrase that Jesus died to set the captives free is not just some story to put the kiddies to sleep. It's not just some story to put the kiddies to sleep. His story was too gruesome to classify as a fairy tale story, but nonetheless ends with him getting all of the glory. You see, it is easy to say, I am no slave, but even the blind man knows when he's bound. The darkness doesn't take away the chains. Those skeletons in your closet that you thought died with your secrets didn't take them to their graves, but decided to keep them. But where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. And the blind man seeks the light because then he can see that Jesus came to give life and life more abundantly. And his gift of dying and raising was for our freedom and for us to live in it. And whom the Son sets free, it's free indeed.